everyone, so I'm back with another video, and today we're talking about Delirious Iris from SP Parfums. So what's this fragrance all about? Well, to me, I've just sprayed some on my hand here. To me it opens a bit like what I would imagine a woodworking shop would smell like. What I mean by that is it's intensely woody, but like you're smelling loads of different varieties of wood. There go my notes. Lots and lots of different types of woody layers, and almost just a hint of maybe some wood glue as well. But there's also some spices that come through straight away. I can smell a spicy tonka note. It smells to me a little bit like nutmeg, freshly ground nutmeg and freshly ground tonka at the same time, along with those multifaceted woods. The fragrance changes lots as you wear it. It does not remain the same, and it lasts all day long. It lasts 12 hours plus on me every single time, and you have to apply it really quite sparingly. It's a very strong one. I do get a slight sweetness coming from the fragrance, a kind of sexy sweetness that actually reminds me of SP Parfums Suntan Glam. I'm not talking about the suntan lotion or the floral aspect of that, but there was a sexy kind of like heated body smell. Now I'm just getting a tiny hint of that, but don't worry if you don't like animalics. It's not a mega animalic, it's just a hint in there to make it a little bit more interesting. I also smell incense, and it's not smoky, mega smoky incense. It's almost like unsmoked incense sticks, you know, like just dry, slightly sweet incense. It's also quite mineralic, so it's kind of like if you was to trinkle a bit of water, sprinkle. If you was to sprinkle some water on some earth, the smell that would be released coming up from that earth, is a little bit of that going on in there. Or some would say petrichor, you know, like rain on pavement kind of smell. It's a little bit violety as well, just a hint, so don't worry, it doesn't smell like a grandma kind of violet water. I think the iris is giving off violet notes as well. Now the iris, of course, is the name of the fragrance, Delirious Iris, but actually I don't really notice the iris in the first sort of half hour to hour of wearing, because of the intensity of the woods and that sweet sort of tonkery note that's going on. The iris only really comes out later on, and it's still, I wouldn't say exactly the star of the show like you might imagine. And it's not the kind of iris that you expect from the likes of Dior Homme Intense or that whole Dior Homme line. It's not like Valentino Uomo. The fragrance is not a soft and fluffy thing, certainly not to start with. It's kind of the intensity of those woody notes makes it a little bit harsh, a little bit more rugged, and I would say would be more of a masculine fragrance than a feminine. But then it's softened by the sweetness of the sort of fluffy tonka, so it's very much a paradox. In the sort of further wearing of the fragrance, it does become a little bit vanillic. Then you start to get the iris, it gets a little bit powdery. It also becomes a little bit waxy, and the woods just gently dissipate and become not so intense. They creep back and let the other ingredients start to shine. It does get a little bit smoky just a tiny bit later on. It gets a bit sweeter, and I notice a bit of a benzoin note. I'm not sure if that's in the notes. I will give you the notes, but I specifically haven't read them just now because I want to tell you how it smells. I don't want to be influenced by what it's supposed to smell like. I get a makeup kind of feel from it, like you might expect from an iris fragrance, but not in the forefront, just gently in the background, a powdery, sweet, irisy, violety kind of feel. But that is not the main player, and there's also a pencil sharpening kind of note, which I guess is the woods, as they are now less intense, gone from wood shavings to pencil sharpenings. The fragrance is inspired by Van Gogh's Starry Night. I think it's Starry Night or Starry Starry Night. I love the song. I really love the song by Don McLean. It's beautiful. If you don't know it, look it up. It's actually called Vincent, the song. It's not called Starry Night or Starry Starry Night. The song's called Vincent, and it is beautiful, and it brings me to tears every time I hear it. But the perfume's inspired by the actual painting, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous painting. So if you don't know what that looks like, then you should definitely look that up as well. Oh, I have written the notes here. Yes, okay, so I've actually written the notes here. These notes I wrote weeks ago. I haven't got round to doing this review because I've been ill. I'm working 12-hour shifts and I'm just finding life a little bit difficult at the moment. But here are the notes. Rum/whiskey. Fucking dog. Rum/whiskey, earthy iris root, tobacco, ambery, okumi wood, tonka bean extract, patchouli musks. So there's your notes. The fragrance is €158 for the 30ml, so that bottle there will cost you €158, but you do get a travel size free with a purchase. So I don't recommend blind buying. SP Parfums are very niche. They're not beginner niche for the most part. There's a couple that would be okay for beginners. I would recommend either getting samples or at least a travel size to start with and see how you get on. I, for one, like this fragrance quite a lot. It's probably a bit too masculine for me to be wearing it on a regular basis. It's the sort of thing I would wear here and there just for my own enjoyment. It's not something I would pick to go down the pub. It's not something that's going to be a massive crowd pleaser. I think on a man though, that could be different, and a man could probably rock it in a lot more occasions than I feel like I could. But I've definitely worn it several times and definitely really enjoy it. I'm impressed with the journey the fragrance takes you on. It definitely takes you on not a roller coaster, but gentle rolling hills of changes, and that's what I love in a fragrance. I don't like fragrances to be too linear. I do get bored. I'm very fickle and my nose needs to be stimulated all the time. So I'm giving it a massive thumbs up. I'll link the website below. Thank you for watching. A little teaser for you. So Dan and I, Mr. Smelly and I, will be on his channel very, very soon, and we will be talking to you about the latest zoologists. So we have Dodo and Chameleon. We've got full bottles. We're going to give you an unboxing and first impressions, and then of course once we've had time to explore the fragrances, you can expect reviews from both of us on both our channels. So that's all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.